I'm on my way to a place called Yellow Springs, but as always, I have one of these red Fs to greet us. I always find these. They're in all my videos, I think. And there's another one. I just love these little guys. They're always out here when I'm hiking. So I think there are some deer up there. There was another one. Okay, now there's two. I think I've been spotted. Well, they're not leaving. I just keep walking towards them and they're not running away. Alright, so I'm going to a place called Yellow Springs this morning. I'm along the, I've been walking along the Stony Valley Rail Trail in northern Lebanon County. And Yellow Springs is somewhere in the middle of that. In the middle of nowhere, but it's a nice middle of nowhere. You can see I already saw some deer this morning. This is an old coal mining town. And there are a couple of things up there to see. There's just foundations left. There's a cool stone tower, just like I showed in an earlier video. There's different ways to get here. It took me about an hour and a half to come the way I did. So I'm going to take you up shortly. There's a trail here called the Incline, and that's got some special meanings to it. I'll talk about that when we're going up it. So absolutely beautiful morning out here. It was in the upper 50s when I started, so good morning. Let's go. Yeah, they're still down there. There was 3 of them. Ah, they're hustling out of here, I guess. Alright, so like I said, up here on the Stony Valley Rail Trail, that's where I came from. And you know you're at Yellow Springs when you come to the first wooden bridge here. A cool little stream down there. And there's another bridge just up here. There's 2 of them. But in the middle is a sign for Yellow Springs. Right up here. And the trail that heads up is right behind the sign. There's a blue blazed trail. Let's see there. You're right over there. That's the blue blaze for the trail. Like I said, this is called the Incline, or sometimes it's called the Yellow Springs Trail. So I'm going to start heading on up. So this trail is a bit overgrown, to say the least. You just got to follow the blaze marks. There's one right up there on that tree. Alright, so I came from that way. The trail winds around the woods for a bit. But then you come down to here, and you start seeing the remains of nothing much to see here, but there was an old railroad bed or tramway that went up the mountain here, straight up. It wasn't a railroad bed, but there's different ideas of what it was used for. It's called the Incline because it was like a raised railroad bed that went straight up. Some people think it was used to bring coal carts down the mountain, but I think it's also used to bring logs down to. And at the top of the mountain, there's an old foundation, like a pulley house, to bring stuff up and down the mountain. So But at this point, the bottom half of the trail is all washed out, as you can see, that incline. But as you get further up, you'll be able to see what it looks like. So, just give a little bit of history of that. So here's a section of this trail that's still, you can kind of see that it drops off a little bit there and there. And this is the old, like, whatever you want to call it, incline that went up. Yeah, here's a much better picture of what it looks like. You can kind of see what looks like an old railroad bed going up there. Alright, let's keep heading up. Yeah, so this trail is a bit rocky at times, and sometimes the blazes are a little hard to follow. So you just gotta keep your eyes open. Yeah, just off the trail here, you can see where some of the coal mining took place. So I'll walk over there quickly. But those mounds over there are from the waste that was left over from digging out the mines. And here you have the orange water, abandoned mine drainage water. It's always a beautiful thing to see out here. Not really. Yeah, and over here on the other side of the trail is some foundation here too. I have no idea what this was for. But it's out here in the woods. Probably had something to do with the coal mining. I'm just taking a little detour. I'm gonna try to find the source of this orange water. Yeah, so it's all coming out of this side of the hill right here, flowing on out. Well, I made it to the summit. Tell you what though, that's not an easy hike up, but there's not much to see here, but this is the foundations of a building up here. I don't know if they call it the pulley house or whatever. Whatever they were pulling up this mountain on this trail, either whether it was coal carts or trees, up or down. There was a building up here that had a cable on it that would pull the things up and down. Well, there's a larger thing up here. Well, I'm not sure what this was up here, but just another stone thing over here. And I think from looking at maps that this trail goes all the way down the other side of the mountain, but I ain't doing that today. So I'm in that old building. There's some metal and other debris left over from here. Some old bricks here too. Some writing on them. Alright. Yeah, here's one you can read. What does it say? Alute? Aluite, maybe? Not sure what that means. Yeah, so here's a better view of some of those foundations up here. Alright, and then the Blue Blaze Trail turns to the right when you get to those foundations, and it takes you, that's what I'm on now, and it'll take you over to the stone tower, which I showed you in another video, but that's always cool to see. And then it takes you down to the actual village of Cold Springs. So that, not Cold Springs, Yellow Springs. Sorry, I was at Cold Springs earlier. Yeah, and just very shortly you come to a split in the trail. There's a Red Blaze Trail. This is the Stone Tower Trail, and I have a video on that. That takes you down the other side of Stony Mountain. But you want to continue on to the right, and the Blue Blazed and the Red Blaze Trail become one. So, should be able to see the Stone Tower shortly here. Always like seeing it. It's like coming to see an old friend. course, over time it keeps falling down a little bit more and more. So it's like every time you come to visit it, you're not sure if it's going to be here anymore. So there she be, still standing. It's good to see. And there are mines around here, and there's different theories as to what this was used for, either for ventilation or for, like, there's a steam engine here or something. But that's the stone tower. Like I said, I have another video on this if you want to see more of it. But I always enjoy coming to see this. Yep, through the trees there you can see the damage it suffers. It used to be a lot taller than this, but you know, over time it just keeps tumbling bit by bit. And down here, one of the coal mines. It's a pretty deep pit down here. I don't know if you can see it through the underbrush. Oh well, but yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Yes, I came down into this pit. Maybe not the smartest thing to do, but I thought there was looked like an opening down here into a mine, but there's nothing in it, just a rock wall in there. Again, maybe if you dug it out a bit more, but oh well. I get excited when I see stuff like that, but oh well. I gotta get out of here. Alright, so now I'm taking the Blue Blaze Trail down the mountain, and this will take you to the actual village, or what's left of it, the foundations and stuff. It takes you down to the Appalachian Trail too, which runs right through the village. So we'll be there shortly. Yeah, so the trail continues on this way, but there's a little side trail here, which is kind of hard to notice. And you start seeing foundations. Here's one cellar hole, and there's a pile of rocks right next to it, which is either, you know, what they dug out for the cellar hole. Might have been a chimney stack too. As you walk up this trail, there's just house after house, well, or what was a house. Here's another one, another cellar hole, pile of rocks next to it. And up here's another one. Another pile of rocks. And they continue on for a little bit more. Here's a little campfire area. People set up. People camp here for the Appalachian Trail. Then there's more rocks, and then there's farther up. There's more foundations. Of all the villages, there's a number of abandoned villages out here in Stony Valley. This one's kind of the neatest, the way it's laid out, kind of in a nice row. And then the Appalachian Trail is just down there, and there's just like another row of foundations down there. Some of the other villages, seems like the houses are just kind of put up wherever. Of course, this is probably the nicest set of ruins here, some chimney stack. That's the one thing about here, though. Most of the foundations there's not much left of them at all. Whereas in some of the other places, you still have some of the cool foundations left. Here it's just mostly rubble. Alright, so one time this was like a row of houses out here in the woods. Well, actually all the trees would have been cut down at that time. Yeah, so people lived out here at one time. I definitely wouldn't mind living out here now, though. Just beautiful out here. Peaceful and quiet. No neighbors. And right here's another foundation area, but this is... Right here's the Appalachian Trail. Coming through here. Got a sign here. Yellow Springs Old Coal Mining Ruins, 1850s. And they got a little registry box here. You can sign in, tell everybody you've been here. So I'm now headed east or north on the Appalachian Trail, and then even off the trail here, there's another row of houses that was here. There's mounds of stuff off in the underbrush. It's kind of harder to see in this area. Maybe there's another one. Just mounds of rubble left from the houses that were here. Alright, so that is it for Yellow Springs. Like I said, this is up here in Stony Valley. Different ways to get here, you know, hiking and biking or whatever. But so that's the end of this part of the video. I still got I got a ways to go to get back to the truck for at least 4 miles. So this may be the end of the video, but if I do see anything cool like a bear or rattlesnake, I'll show you that, or something else. So alright, cool place, and goodbye for now, unless something else pops up along the way back. Alright.